At my daughter's 6th birthday party, my wife vanished for 40 minutes. I was running games, cutting cake, and cleaning up while guests whispered. Later, my brother pulled me aside and said, "Check the guest bathroom." I found her lipstick on his collar, her shoes in the tub, and her phone open on Snapchat. They'd been laughing about me. "He's so busy being super dad," she'd sent. "He'll never notice." I left the party without saying a word. 3 days later, she got served at her job, and my lawyer made sure I got full custody. Now she texts me, "Can I just see her once?" Not anymore. I'm a 34-year-old guy living in a town outside Dayton, Ohio. I used to think I had a normal, boring life. Good job, simple house, beautiful little girl named Gracie. I married my high school sweetheart, Claire. We had struggles like any marriage, but I always thought love was enough. It wasn't. It started falling apart last year. Maybe earlier, and I just didn't want to see it. Claire changed after Gracie started school. She got restless. Snapped at small things. Always on her phone. Stayed late at work a lot more. I asked once if everything was okay, and she bit my head off. I learned to shut up and pick up the slack. I figured she'd come around. Gracie's 6th birthday party was supposed to be a reset. I planned the whole thing myself. Decorations, food, a rented bouncy house, superhero-themed games because Gracie loved Wonder Woman. I stayed up late making goodie bags, wrapping presents. Claire said she'd take care of the cake and some snacks. Morning of the party, Claire was off. Pale, quiet. Told me she had a migraine and needed to rest a little before guests arrived. I didn't think much of it. I thought I'd let her sleep and carry the load myself. By noon, the backyard was filling up. Neighbors, some classmates from Gracie's school, family. Music playing, kids laughing, parents making small talk. I was running around like crazy, but I didn't mind. Gracie's happiness made it worth it. I ran the relay race. Set up the photo booth. Made sure every kid got a slice of pizza. Cleaned up spilled juice boxes without complaining. I didn't notice Claire was missing right away. I assumed she was talking with her sister or something. When it came time to sing "Happy Birthday," I looked around and realized she was gone. No Claire. I had to go cut the cake by myself. I was sweating, my hands sticky with frosting, trying to herd 25 sugar-rushed kids, while people started whispering behind their cups. Still, I told myself she was probably inside, resting. Maybe she was really sick. I wanted to believe it. But then Mike, my younger brother, pulled me aside. He had this grim look on his face. He said, low and serious, "Man, you need to check the guest bathroom. Right now." My stomach twisted. I don't know why. I hadn't even seen what he saw yet, but deep down, I already knew. I walked through the house, past the kitchen where a couple of my cousins were awkwardly pretending not to notice me. I reached the guest bathroom door. It was cracked open just a little. I pushed it in. And everything fell apart in 1 second. Claire's high heels were thrown in the bathtub like trash. Her makeup bag spilled across the counter. Lipstick smeared on the sink. Her phone sitting wide open. The screen lit up with a Snapchat conversation. I recognized the name immediately, her brother, Mark. Mark. The man I had welcomed into my home 100 times. The man whose kids had played with Gracie like cousins should. There were photos. One of me cutting cake outside, covered in frosting, sweaty and smiling. And Claire's message underneath, "He's so busy being super dad. He'll never notice," face with tears of joy. Then a reply from Mark, "We got time," winking face, a selfie she had sent him from inside that very bathroom, kissing the camera with bright red lipstick. More messages I couldn't even process. Dirty jokes. Plans. Mark's flannel shirt was hanging half off the towel rack. Red lipstick stains on the collar, clear as day. I didn't yell. I didn't throw things. I didn't even cry. I turned around. Walked back through the house. Out into the backyard where Gracie was opening gifts. I made myself smile one more time so she wouldn't see anything wrong. Then I left. I didn't say a word to Claire. I didn't make a scene. Because a real scene was already coming. The next morning, I was sitting across from a lawyer named Beth. Sharp woman. Direct. Didn't waste words. When I showed her the phone photos, the Snapchat messages, the lipstick on Mark's shirt, she sat back and said, "We're going to bury her." She wasn't kidding. 3 days later, Claire got served. Right in the middle of the lobby at her accounting job. She called me 15 times after that. Left voicemails screaming, crying, begging. I didn't answer. She showed up at the house once, pounding on the door. Mike was there. He opened the window and said real calm, "Leave now. Or the cops are coming." She left. Court was ugly. Claire cried. Tried to spin stories about how I ignored her needs, how I worked too much. Tried to say I was controlling. Didn't matter. Beth had everything lined up, the texts, the photos, witnesses who saw Claire and Mark sneaking inside together. The judge didn't even blink. I got full custody. Claire got supervised visits for 6 months, if she passed drug tests. Yeah, apparently there was cocaine use too, small town rumors weren't wrong. After the 6 months, she could petition for weekends, but she never even finished the classes. Now, Gracie doesn't ask about her much anymore. Every once in a while, she'll draw a picture and say, "I'll save this for mommy when she gets better." I just nod and smile. I can't explain to her yet. Maybe someday. Claire still texts sometimes. A few weeks ago, "Please, just 1 hour. I miss her so much. Please don't punish me forever." I stared at that text for a long time. Then I turned off the phone, went outside, and pushed Gracie on the swing set. She squealed and laughed and kicked her little sneakers up to the sky. I made my choice. Claire made hers. And Gracie? She deserves better than someone who thinks 40 minutes of sneaking around is worth blowing up a family. I thought that would be the end. I thought after court, after getting custody, I could move on. I was wrong. 2 months after the custody ruling, right when Gracie was settling into her new normal, Claire stirred up more trouble. It started small. Weird looks at the grocery store. Neighbors who used to wave crossing the street instead started pretending not to see me. Then one of Gracie's friends' moms pulled me aside after school pickup. She said, "Real careful, I just wanted you to know, there's rumors going around. About you." My stomach dropped. Claire had been telling people I cheated on her. That I was abusive. That I turned Gracie against her. I didn't even know where to start clearing it up. In a small town, lies spread faster than truth. I stayed quiet at first. I told myself not to stoop to her level. But then it got worse. I got a call from Child Protective Services. A report had been made against me, anonymous, of course, saying I was emotionally neglecting Gracie. I nearly threw up on the spot. The caseworker showed up the next day. A woman named Janice. Kind eyes, tight mouth. She walked through our home. Checked Gracie's room. Looked at the fridge full of drawings. Watched Gracie hug me without hesitation. By the time she left, she said, "I'm closing this as unfounded. But be careful. Someone's trying to set you up." That night, I couldn't sleep. I sat at the kitchen table, staring at my phone, thinking. Claire wasn't just trying to hurt me anymore. She was trying to hurt Gracie. A few weeks later, I found out she had started seeing Mark again. Yes, her own brother. Biologically, Mark was actually her half-brother, same mom, different dads. Still, it didn't matter to people around here. Once that ugly truth got out, it exploded. Claire's sister, Jenna, finally reached out to me. Said she couldn't stay quiet anymore. She told me Claire and Mark had been close for a long time. Too close. Family knew. Some ignored it. Some just hoped it would go away. Jenna said, "I'm sorry. We should have told you years ago." After that, things snowballed fast. Claire lost her job. Company didn't want the scandal. She moved 2 towns over, shacked up with some older guy with a record for assault. Gracie would still get little cards in the mail, no return address. We knew it was Claire. Sometimes they had weird messages inside. Like, "Mommy's coming back for you. Daddy doesn't love you like I do." I saved every one. Every creepy, manipulative card. Every voicemail. Every drunk text. Beth, my lawyer, built a wall of evidence so tall, Claire would never see the inside of a real courtroom again. But even with all that, there were nights Gracie cried for her mom. Sat by the window waiting. I would sit with her. Hold her hand. Tell her it wasn't her fault. I promised her one thing: you'll never be anyone's second choice again. I thought the worst was behind us. But Claire wasn't done. 3 months after the last creepy card showed up, I got another knock at the door. This time, it wasn't CPS. It was a county sheriff. Claire had filed a motion for emergency custody. She claimed Gracie was in danger living with me. She said I was unstable. That I had violent outbursts. That I refused to let Gracie have a relationship with her mother. It was a full-blown smear campaign. Made out of thin air. The court scheduled a hearing. I had 2 weeks to prepare. I remember that night after the sheriff left. I sat on the porch, staring at the dark street, feeling like the whole world was crushing my chest. Gracie came outside in her little pajamas, holding her stuffed dog. She climbed into my lap without saying a word. After a while, she whispered, "Is Mommy coming to take me?" I didn't know what to say. Because I didn't know what the judge would do. Courts sometimes favor the mother, no matter what. I hugged her tight and said, "Nobody's taking you away from me." And I meant it. Those 2 weeks before court were hell. Mike helped me gather everything. Copies of every card, every threatening text, screenshots of Claire's public Facebook rants where she trashed me, proof she was living with a violent felon. Beth pulled strings too. Got character references from teachers, neighbors, even Gracie's pediatrician. We built the biggest, ugliest case possible. The day of court, Claire showed up looking half strung out. Hair messy. Cheap sunglasses. Smelling like old cigarettes. She tried to cry on the stand. Tried to act like a loving mom who was shut out by a cruel husband. Beth tore her apart. Every lie she told, we knocked down with hard proof. The judge wasn't stupid. After 2 hours, he leaned over and said real clear, "Mrs. Williams, if you continue to make false allegations and harass Mr. Williams, you will face supervised visitation termination. You are this child's mother in biology only. You have shown no ability to parent." You could hear a pin drop in that courtroom. Claire started sobbing. Screaming about how it wasn't fair. Court officers had to pull her out. After that day, Claire's parental rights were suspended indefinitely. No more weekends. No more supervised visits. Nothing. She became a ghost. But the story wasn't over yet. 6 months later, Mike called me late at night. He said, "You're not gonna believe this. Claire's in jail." Turns out Claire and Mark, her half-brother, got caught breaking into someone's house looking for something that belonged to them. They got arrested. Charged with breaking and entering, possession, and resisting arrest. It hit the local papers like wildfire. People finally saw her for what she was. All the lies she told about me, they blew away like dust. And for the first time in a long time, I felt something real, peace. When Claire went to jail, a part of me thought I could finally breathe easy. Gracie didn't know the details. I didn't tell her. Just said her mom was far away for a while. We fell into a rhythm. School, homework, pancakes on Saturdays, movie nights curled up on the couch. Gracie's laughs came back. Her drawings got brighter. She even made a new best friend at school, a little girl named Sophia. But deep down, I knew Claire wasn't done. Not really. She still had one last move left. It happened on a cold Tuesday night. I got home late from work. Gracie was at Mike's house, playing with his kids. As I pulled into the driveway, I noticed the side gate was open. The porch light was broken. Something in my gut screamed at me. I rushed inside. My living room was trashed. Couch cushions thrown everywhere. Cabinet doors yanked open. Drawers dumped out. It wasn't a robbery. It was a message. On the kitchen table, written with red lipstick, her lipstick, were the words, "You stole my daughter. I'll steal your life." I called the cops. They found Claire 3 blocks away, drunk, barefoot, hiding behind a dumpster. She was high on something. Rambling about how Gracie needed her real mother. They took her away in cuffs again. But this time, it wasn't just trespassing. The DA pressed charges for breaking and entering, threats, vandalism, and child endangerment, because she admitted she planned to wait for Gracie to come home. Claire pled guilty. She didn't even fight it. She got sentenced to 18 months in prison. And Mark? A month later, he OD'd in a motel room 3 towns over. Turns out their relationship was even sicker than I ever wanted to know. Local police found pictures, messages, things that made my skin crawl. The newspapers printed it all. Claire's name was ruined. Mark's family disowned him posthumously. Everyone who had whispered about me being the bad guy suddenly remembered how to shut their mouths. Looking back, I realize I made mistakes too. I stayed blind for too long. Ignored signs. Let my fear of breaking the family keep me from seeing what Claire really was. But I learned something: some people don't deserve second chances. Some people don't deserve to come back. Today, it's just me and Gracie. She's 7 now. Wiser than any kid should have to be. We still have our porch swing. We still have pancakes on Saturdays. And when Gracie sometimes asks, "Will Mommy ever come back?" I tell her the truth, in the softest way I can. She made choices. And we made ours. We're safe now. Claire still writes letters from prison sometimes. I keep them sealed in a shoebox in the attic. Gracie will decide someday if she wants to read them. But not now. Not while she's still building a life where love isn't something you have to chase, or beg for, or be afraid of. She's free now. And so am I.